If you told me the 49ers would go into this stadium and score 30 points against this defense, with a quarterback coming off of a severe elbow injury, with all of the distractions that they had in the offseason, I would have called you a bold-faced liar. But here we are, and honestly, they could have scored a lot more than 30 had they not taken their foot off the gas. So let's talk about everything that the 49ers offense did in week one. A lot of positives, so let's get right into it. All right, so we got to see Christian McCaffrey and how dynamic he is early on. This running game is very dynamic. So we're going to have a double team block right here. It's going to be Colton McKivitz and Charlie Warner double teaming this defensive end. And then they're going to step down and double team him, TJ Watt, unblocked. A lot of offenses, when they honestly, especially at the lower levels, they're going to leave the best player, quote unquote, unblocked. They're going to send the tight end across the formation. So this is essentially split zone. They're going to block back. Watch how it plays itself out. Just honestly, a really nice call. But let's take a look here. Block. Easy crease, easy lane for Christian McCaffrey, who doesn't need much of a running lane. But when you get a hole that size, he's going to rush for a lot of yards. And that's why they were so successful in this game. All right, and here we go. Touchdown. So they are running a 7-step drop, and I know in the NFC Championship game there are tons of complaints about why would Kyle Shanahan run this long of a drop. Well, Steelers have a great pass rush. They're in the red zone, low red zone. The 49ers are going to max pass protect, so everybody's blocking. They're going to have 7 blockers. They're going to have 2 wide receivers run a route. What Deebo Samuel's going to do is he's going to run this clear out route. He's going to run this through route is what it's called. He's going to occupy this safety and hold this player right here. So essentially, he's going to have and take care of all of the coverage to what's effectively the backside of the play. Why? So it's Brandon Aiyuk against Patrick Peterson with essentially a half a field to work with. And the way that it plays out is beautiful. So you know how it plays out. Patrick Peterson, he was talking a bunch of crap before the game started. Watch it play itself out here. So right there, you already got what you wanted. Deebo Samuel did his job. Deebo Samuel takes this defender, he takes this defender. And now, as I said before, it is your best wide receiver you'll take probably against any cornerback. Brandon Aiyuk, he sets him up with a really nice head fake. Honestly, he's been one of the better route runners in the league for a couple years. Now he's just more precise. There's not many wasted movements, and he's just more consistent. Like, he's the same guy every play. And I think it's him being engaged as a blocker, and that carries over to him as a wide receiver. But a little shoulder fake, head fake, leaves Pete grabbing grass. Just a really, really nice route. All right, so on this play, I really just want to talk about the concept-wise. It seemed like Kyle Shanahan had somebody open on every play, and this is no exception. So they run a now slant to the bottom. This Deebo Samuel, and Kyle Juszczyk's going to run an out route, effectively just picking off this guy if he were to be press coverage. George Kittle, he's going to run down the field on a seam route. And then to the bottom of the screen, we have a high-low concept. So Christian McCaffrey, who is a dangerous weapon, and they're going to have a lot of opportunities to throw him the ball as a true receiver. So he's in the slot. He's going to run a curl route right here. And then Brandon Aiyuk's going to run about a bang 8, essentially. So he's going to run a 5-step slant, post, whatever you want to call it. So this is the high-low concept right here. Low, McCaffrey, Aiyuk is the high route. For a lot of years, I felt like this side was ignored and they would just go to the now slant with Deebo, which, why wouldn't you, right? It's Deebo Samuel. But over the course of this game, you'd see consistently Brock Purdy, he is a doubles hitter. And I know I put a video about that yesterday. He is always looking for the second level, and that's why the 49ers are able to be consistent. So the Steelers, they are running a combo coverage. So to the top of the screen, looks like they're in man coverage, honestly, and to the bottom, they're running cover 2. So this guy is responsible for the flat. He is going to be responsible for this strong hook area, and then you have a deep safety. So there's going to be a void. If he holds, there's going to be a void here. I'm pretty sure Brock Purdy gets a good pre-snap read and goes exactly where that is. So let's watch it play itself out here. There's a void because you have this defender. He will tell you what to do, right? The backside hang defender, the backside apex defender will tell the quarterback what to do. Brock Purdy picks a side. Defender hangs, wide open void. Just a great play. And again, I can show you plenty of clips where, especially the Packers game comes to mind where, and this isn't to like, to knock on Jimmy, but it was to Debo right now, no matter what. And guys would be open on the backside for these chunk plays. Like, this is why people have been clamoring for Brandon Aiyuk to be this, not just 1,000-yard receiver, but 1,200-yard receiver. And judging by what we saw Sunday, he's well on his way. So just good execution, great design, and Brock Purdy knows where to go with the ball. All right, watching the bottom of the screen here. So nuance. And it's the little details that Purdy does very well. So if you just watch the play, it's Brock Purdy throwing a screen to Brandon Aiyuk. I mean, this is as high school as it gets, where you're running a slant with a flat route. And there's going to be a vacated window. But once we get to the end zone angle, you will see that Purdy is holding the linebacker here. He is holding who 54 is, the linebacker to the right of the screen. So watch it play itself out here. And it's just for a split second, but that is long enough to create that throwing window. And that's how Aiyuk is able to get open, or Aiyuk is at least able to not have to worry about a linebacker screaming down his face and having to worry about a big hit. So you see that little hop that 54 takes inside right there? That's because the quarterback did that with his eyes. The quarterback was able to move him with his eyes. So again, it's really tough to notice live, but rewatching these plays, you're like, whoa, this is what Kyle Shanahan sees. The small things, the details. All right, so here's the play I used on the YouTube video where I said Kyle Shanahan thinks Brock Purdy is a real deal. Most of the comments just blame Brock Purdy for not throwing to Ronnie Bell to the top of the screen here. So in this concept, it's another high-low read where George Kittle is running the over-the-ball route. Deebo Samuel's running the deep in-breaking route. He's reading the coverage of the linebackers. The odds that you throw this from the 40-yard line to Ronnie Bell are slim to none. If you would have to have a lot happen for this to work. So here's how the routes play out because the Steelers are in cover 2. So you see Kyle Juszczyk to the top. He's running a flat route. Christian McCaffrey out of the backfield. He's running a flat route. So those are going to occupy the corners. So here's how we would draw it up. If we were looking at this from a defensive angle, so in cover 2, this guy has the flat area. This guy has the flat area right here. He's actually going to spin out, so he's running the deep half. This safety right here, he's in the deep half. This is the pull runner. So in cover 2, you're going to have a defender occupy the middle of the field. That's where he goes. He's a hook player. And then TJ Watt, who's not rushing on this play, which is advantage 49ers, he's also a hook player. So you have flat, 2 guys who are taking care of the hooks, and then the deep half. So it's a nice pre-snap coverage, pre-snap disguise, but it doesn't matter. So let's walk through the play so you can kind of see, I guess, how silly it is to think that Ronnie Bell's getting the ball in this play. It's a better angle, and maybe it's my fault for not showing this angle too, but I understand, you see a guy running and you're thinking, oh, he had a touchdown, but like, in what world is he wide open right now? Again, it's on me for not showing it, but you can see the defense spin to cover 2. So Brock Purdy, who is he reading right now? He's staring down the middle of the field, and he knows I'm going either here or here. But since we talked about it yesterday, he knows I'm going to go here. So I'm going to move the linebacker, and we'll be able to see it from the end zone view. But I really just wanted to show this angle so you could see Ronnie Bell is not open. He's not the read. He also got jammed a little bit. The fact that people wanted him to get the ball and he was wide open for a touchdown when he's not even looking at the ball. Why? Because he knows he's not part of the read. It's going to go either boom, boom, or I'm going to dump it off in the flats. He is a clear out route. He is a running off the coverage type of route, which that happens in football. Actually, that's a lot of the reason why these guys get open, is because you need those clear out routes. But to suggest that Ronnie Bell was wide open for a touchdown and Brock Purdy missed him is just silly. And I really didn't even think about that from this angle, which is the view that I showed. But again, let's look at it. Purdy, 54, boom. If you only watch the linebacker, if you watch Brock Purdy's shoulders and head and watch how he affects the linebacker, it's more nuanced where That right there, that little shoulder gets him open. And people were complaining about the pass too, or if it was Jimmy, I'd be complaining. That's not the case at all, man. I understand that he's a 7th round pick. He's not making over 120 million or whatever it was that Jimmy was, so it's not apples to apples. I thought that was a great play just as far as the nuance goes, and that's why I put it on here. All right, here's the fade to Aiyuk. So I haven't seen a 49ers quarterback throw a fade route in a long time. And when I say that, I mean just like a back shoulder fade that's precise, that's on the money. Look where this ball hits. 1, 2, 3. So right away, he's playing on time. 3-step drop, step and throw. Watch Brock's feet. 1, 2, 3. Ball's coming out. Ball's coming out. Where does it hit Aiyuk? In the face mask. Like, there's not much Patrick Peterson can do right there. He had it coming. Purdy talked some crap about him a little bit afterwards where he suggested, was that Pat Pete? You knew it was. Aiyuk did a nice job of leaving Purdy space. Sometimes when you're running these fade routes, wide receivers can get jammed into the sideline and the quarterback really doesn't have any place to put the ball. But got about a yard to spare from the sideline. There's really nothing that Aiyuk has to do. The ball basically catches Aiyuk, so that is as good as it gets right there. Tough to have any critique on this throw. I think the timing's great. That way you don't have to worry about, any sort of speed rush from TJ Watt off the edge if he is able to get in. So the Steelers actually run a stunt, and it has no impact because the quarterback's playing on time, because the quarterback's getting the ball out. And again, the pass is perfection. All right, so you're going to get a flood concept from the backside of the formation here. Again, another beautiful design from Shanahan. So you have Juwan Jennings to the top of the screen. He's going to run a return route. You have Brandon Aiyuk in the slot. He's the number 2 receiver. He's going to run the deepest in-breaking route. And then you have Christian McCaffrey, again, who is ineligible. He's not a running back. He should be viewed as a wide receiver / running back because that's how he's used. He's going to be the underneath in-breaking route. So you have high, you have low, and then in case both of these two are covered, you have Juwan Jennings coming late to the bottom of the screen. George Kittle is the number 2 receiver. He's going to stay in a block. And then you have Deebo Samuel, who's, again, he's clearing out. So even if he were to break open, which he doesn't, you would get an idea of just what he's supposed to do on this route, I guess you could say. So let's watch it play itself out here. Brandon Aiyuk runs another very nice route against Patrick Peterson. Let's watch it play itself out here. So he gets inside. Watch the separation there at the top of the screen for Aiyuk. That's like 3 yards separation on the cut. That is what good route runners do. But you're going to face pressure, and that's going to be, I don't know if it's going to be a theme this year or not, but we've seen just in this instance, the quarterback climb the pocket. He's not panicking. He's not dropping his eyes. And because of that, Brandon Aiyuk's able to have a big day. So let's watch it from the end zone view. The route concept is there, but I think you have to give credit to the quarterback for, again, just being a football player, climbing the pocket, keeping his eyes up against pressure, which for young quarterbacks, this is not easy to do. Look, the opposite color flashes in your face. It would be easy for him to panic, for him to break, but TJ Watt's right there. So I'm not going outside. Instead, keeps his eyes down the field. Big play. All right, so it was not a good day for right tackle Colton McKivitz. TJ Watt did pretty much whatever he wanted to against him, but I think you also have to give the Steelers credit for some of the designs that they had. So there were some complaints that, why wouldn't the 49ers help Colton McKivitz against TJ Watt? So on this play, the Steelers, they're going to blitz. See from our right, in most instances, Christian McCaffrey or whoever the back is would come to the opposite side to help the right tackle, but he can't, right? So look how they're sliding. Look where the pass protection is. He has to account for the blitzer. Because of that, that leaves number 90 one-on-one with 68. And that was a recipe for disaster. So this is probably what teams are going to do, right? They're going to put their best against McKivitz, and they're going to just keep blitzing on the other side, making the 49ers having to account for that extra rusher, leaving McKivitz susceptible. So I thought there were a handful of plays where the Steelers were just right and Brock Purdy made them wrong. And it was it wasn't anything like out of the ordinary. But here, if you look at the top of the screen, Minkah Fitzpatrick, he's a safety. He's an all-pro safety. He's blitzing. He's free off the edge. Nobody accounts for him. But the quarterback makes a miss. And instead of running for what would be maybe a gain of 3, again, he's keeping his eyes down the field. And instead of a gain of 3, it's a first down and you're ahead of the chains. When you look at it from this angle, it looks like Purdy knows Minkah's coming the whole time. And if you just count the Steelers rush, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So somebody's wrong in the protection. They should probably be sliding toward Minkah. Instead, they're sliding away from him. So I don't know if that's the center, that's quarterback, but it all worked out because he's able to avoid. That is a special play right there. And not just avoiding, because this could be a disaster, right? This is a sack. This is 2nd and 15, and instead it's 1st and 10. So the avoid is impressive, and I think, again, keeping your eyes down the field and giving your playmaker a chance is where the special part comes into play. All right, sometimes it's just about the Jimmies and the Joes and having better players, and Christian McCaffrey, Brandon Aiyuk, Deebo Samuel, the 49ers are going to be in instances where that is the case a lot of the time. So here's Christian McCaffrey's long run. And at first I was wondering, like, wait, why did he hop back in? And then he spins. Then Aiyuk does that. Then you see Ray McLeod come from the other side of the field. We saw on Monday Night Football, Garrett Wilson celebrating right now. And that guy makes a tackle. I thought McCaffrey did a nice job there, slowing down. That way McLeod can block him. But that effort is just incredible. I think that speaks volumes too. Just what this team is, right? They're not worried about they're not worried about themselves. They're trying to make sure that my guy gets home. How about that spin zone right there? Whoop! And then boom! That's a dead body right there. The effort is incredible. You really don't see this from many teams at any level. This end zone view from Aiyuk's block is the best view possible. He catches a body here. There's no other way to put it. The blocking is great. So watch the center and left guard. Aaron Banks, who I thought had a really good game, they moved the tackle like 4 yards off his spot. Trent Williams' guy isn't even in the freaking picture right now. Same with George Kittle. Spencer Burford, right guard. He has his guy pinned. Cole McKivitz, he's running, and he has his guy cut off. Now, when I said McCaffrey doesn't need much space to run through, there it is. Spins off that contact, and then boom. Just a great play all around. Team play, too, where everybody does their job, and McCaffrey reaps the benefits. All right, another play where TJ Watt just gets the best of Colt McKivitz, but quarterback doesn't flinch in the face of pressure, and they're able to get a completion. You could argue that this was going to Kittle. I do think I'm willing to give him the benefit of the doubt and say it was to Aiyuk because, that's where he was leaning most of the day, especially on these deep in-breaking routes, but McKivitz has to be better. There's no doubt. On what, a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-step drop, the quarterback is getting hit. The quarterback has somebody in his face by the time he's getting to the top of his drop. Like, look how bad McKivitz is beaten right there. When you are facing the quarterback and he is just now gathering to throw, that is a problem. But yeah, this ball is going to Aiyuk. Turns out, like, they're able to get the ball off, but you don't want your quarterback taking these hits, not on these type of plays. And I know Watt is a special player. He's one of the best edge rushers in the NFL. Sure, they probably should have had more help. Let's see how it plays out here. McCaffrey's releasing into a route, so that you need to have a right tackle who can hold his water for at least 2.2 seconds. All right, so another play where Purdy's under pressure. You have Brandon Aiyuk, who's the number 3 receiver to the top of the screen. They're actually in quads here with Christian McCaffrey, but Purdy, again, this is consistent. Somebody's in his face because the offensive line gets beat, and he does not panic. He keeps his eyes down the field, and that's how the 49ers are going to be able to sustain staying on the field. They're going to be able to sustain drives. Let's watch where the pressure comes from here. I believe it's the right guard. Yeah, Spencer Burford just doesn't get a hand on the defensive tackle. Watch 99. Yeah, it doesn't offer much resistance at all, but no pressure. Quarterback is not phased. Quarterback has a wide open receiver thanks to the scheme, and the 49ers are able to avoid it. So probably don't want to, rely on Purdy having to make plays with his legs or having to make this many plays anyway. But he did his job. And, that's where eventually your quarterback is going to have to deal with pressure. He's going to have to make plays. And it seems like, I know it's one game, but we had, the latter half of last season to go off of as well. Like, this is pretty consistent with who this guy is as a quarterback. So one of the worries that I had coming in would be how Purdy would handle the pressure. And we saw he passed out with flying colors, and they were able to stay on the field. When the 49ers offense is on the field, they have the eligibles to be explosive. And Purdy is looking consistently down the field. Obviously, he has the scrambling capability, but I think I was just impressed the most with him not being fazed by the pressure. The Steelers are a very good defense, and many people think that they're going to be top 5. They finished last year, at least in the second half of the season, in the top 10 in a lot of advanced metrics. So for the 49ers to come in and have this kind of statement game kind of just tells us where their ceiling is. So if we're grading them, it has to be an A, right? Even though, Colt McKivitz had a couple bad plays, Smith Burford got beat that we saw. There were some penalties that they're going to need to clean up, but they scored 30 points, and the 30 points was effortless. And we saw over the course of the game, Purdy knew what he was doing. Purdy played with nuance. Purdy got the ball where he was supposed to be. He relied on his best players, and he put the ball in the money when he needed to. And then McCaffrey, Aiyuk, they did their thing. So pretty excited to see how they follow this up against a Rams team who might be better than we thought.